Welcome back to Have More Babies. Raising healthy kids, it can feel like there's just so much advice out there, right?
It really can.
Overwhelming.
So today, we're hoping to give you a bit of a map. We're looking at what the experts call 9 powerful child hygiene habits. But we're not just going to list them off.
No, definitely not. Our mission today is really to dig into the why. We all hear brush your teeth, wash your hands, but why are these things so fundamental?
Right.
We found these habits are, well, they're essential building blocks, not just for staying healthy physically, but for things like confidence, responsibility, uh, basically setting up the structure kids need as they grow up.
I think we sometimes downplay this stuff, don't we? Like it's just about avoiding a cold.
Mm-hmm.
But the sources really emphasized how foundational it is, like installing a really good defense system early on.
Absolutely. Think about it. Kids' immune systems are still developing. They're naturally more vulnerable, and they touch everything.
Oh, yeah. Everything goes in the mouth, too. Exactly. So simple, consistent hygiene isn't just, common sense. It's literally the first line of defense against all those common things. Colds, flu, stomach bugs. It's like building a firewall right at the entry points.
Okay, so this is where it got really interesting for me, looking through the sources. They put a huge emphasis on benefits beyond just not getting sick.
Mhm.
Like, cleanliness equals social power. That was surprising.
Yeah, it sounds a bit strange at first, but it's all about self-perception and how kids present themselves. A child who feels clean, who knows they don't smell bad, well, they just feel more confident.
Makes sense.
And when they're comfortable in their own skin, they're more comfortable in social settings.
Mm.
Sitting close to a friend, joining in activities. It boosts their willingness to interact,
Yeah.
and that helps their social skills develop.
And that feeling of confidence, it ties right into routine and structure, doesn't it?
Directly. When parents set up these daily routines, brush teeth morning and night, wash hands before meals, it's not just about being clean. You're teaching accountability.
You're building that expectation.
Precisely. We're talking about building structure. These little habits teach kids that taking care of themselves is just a normal, required part of the day. Like bath comes before story, or hands washed before dinner. They start learning time management, self-discipline, really basic stuff that helps them become responsible later on.
Okay, but the sources also flagged a really critical mistake parents can make here.
Yes, this is key. Forcing routines without explaining why.
The because I said so trap.
Exactly. If you just order them around or criticize them harshly when they forget, hygiene starts to feel like a punishment. It's just something they have to do to avoid trouble.
Not something they understand the benefit of.
Right. For a habit to actually stick long term, especially when you're not standing over them, the child needs to get the why. Why washing hands helps them stay healthy so they can play soccer, or why brushing stops their teeth from hurting later. Without that, internal motivation, the habit just kind of falls apart when the pressure's off.
So it's less about just clean hands and more about informed cooperation and building self-respect.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, let's kick off with the habit that honestly all the sources agreed was number 1, hand washing. It's just the sheer volume of germs hands carry around. It's the first most effective defense.
We all know that we should wash our hands, but what's the practical takeaway for teaching kids? Something easy to remember.
It's the 20-second rule,
Mm-hmm.
and the easiest way to teach that is the happy birthday song trick. Sing it twice through.
Ah, the classic.
It works. It's just about the right amount of time to really scrub all the surfaces, palms, backs of hands, between the fingers, under the nails.
Okay, and the when to wash list is pretty long after the toilet, before eating, after playing outside, touching pets. If parents are having a chaotic day, is there a hierarchy? Which one gives the most bang for your buck, protection-wise?
That's a really good practical question, because life is chaotic. While washing before eating is definitely important, the sources really highlighted after using the toilet as absolutely critical. And any time they've been dealing with bodily fluids like coughing into hands, being near someone sick, those are the really high-risk moments for spreading infections. Non-negotiable.
Got it. And here's something I was curious about the soap itself. I used to always buy the strongest antibacterial stuff I could find. Is that actually necessary?
The sources were pretty clear on this. Generally, no. For everyday washing, regular soap and plain running water are perfectly fine, actually preferable.
Really?
Yeah. The research suggests those antibacterial agents don't offer a significant extra benefit for removing common germs day to day, and they're just not necessary for kids' developing systems.
Yeah.
Regular soap does the job just fine.
Okay, good to know. So moving from hands to mouth, Habit 3 is oral health, called a cornerstone, which makes sense because bad teeth can cause other problems down the line. Routine, brush twice a day, 2 minutes, seems standard.
It is standard, but the detail that matters here, especially for parents of little ones, is the amount of fluoride toothpaste. You have to be careful. For babies and toddlers, just a tiny smear, like the size of a grain of rice. Once they're a bit older, maybe 3 and up, you can increase it to a pea-sized amount.
And why is being that precise so important?
It's because fluoride is great for teeth. But if young kids consistently swallow too much before their permanent teeth come in, they will get something called fluorosis. It causes little white spots on the teeth.
Ah, okay. So the tiny amount minimizes that risk, but still gives the protection.
Exactly. And then there's the independence question. When can kids handle it themselves?
Yeah, when do parents get to step back?
Well, parents should start flossing for them as soon as their teeth start touching. They'll likely need help with that for a while. For brushing, kids can usually start doing it themselves effectively around age 6 or 7. But, and this is important, the sources stress that parents still need to supervise for a while. Check their technique. Make sure they're actually doing it properly. Don't just assume they've got it down pat immediately.
Good point. Okay, last of the big three. Habit 2, bathing or showering. This one definitely changes with age, right? How often is really needed?
It absolutely does. For toddlers, say 1 to 3 years old, maybe 2 or 3 times a week is usually enough, unless they've had a particularly messy day, of course.
Right. Covered in mud situation.
Exactly. Then, school-age kids, maybe 4 to 12, they generally need to move towards a daily bath or shower. They're just more active, playing sports, getting dirtier.
And then teenagers.
Oh yeah, for teens, daily is pretty much essential. Puberty kicks in, you get more sweat, more oil, body odor. Daily cleansing becomes really important, not just for hygiene, but again, for that social confidence we talked about.
Makes sense. What about the classic struggle, the kid who just hates bath time? Any tips besides just forcing it?
Yeah, yelling doesn't usually help.
Yeah.
The key is to make it less of a chore, more of a positive experience. Maybe dedicated playtime with bath toys, bubbles, music, reading a story during bath time.
Make it.
Right. But probably the best strategy for resistance is giving them some control. Let them choose the bath bomb or the towel color or the scent of the soap. Having a little bit of choice can really reduce the power struggle.
Okay, let's shift back to stopping germs directly. Habit 7, covering coughs and sneezes. We used to teach covering with your hand, but that's the worst thing, right? Now it's the elbow rule.
Correct. Cough or sneeze into the crook of your elbow. It's vital because hands touch everything, doorknobs, toys, faces. The elbow doesn't get around as much, so it minimizes spreading germs.
And how do you actually teach that effectively?
It's very behavioral. Role-playing is great. Make it a game during playtime. Pretend to cough and practice catching it in the elbow. And then lots of praise when they get it right. Positive reinforcement works way better than scolding after the fact.
Got it. Okay, habit 5, proper toilet hygiene. Seems basic, but the sources really emphasize its importance beyond just independence, like preventing infections.
Oh, the health impact is huge, especially for girls. The absolute golden rule here is wipe front to back every single time. This prevents bacteria from the bottom moving towards the urinary tract and causing UTIs.
Crucial detail.
Very crucial. And that action needs to be followed immediately by flushing and then, again, thorough hand washing. No skipping steps.
What about during potty training when they're just learning?
That can be a frustrating stage. The sources suggested using positive reinforcement. Sticker charts are great for this age. Small rewards, lots of enthusiastic praise when they follow the steps correctly. Keep it positive.
Makes sense. All right, habit 4 is nail care, called small but mighty. Why focus so much on just fingernails?
Because that little space under the nails is like a collection zone for dirt and thousands of germs, things that even decent hand washing might miss.
Okay.
So keeping nails trimmed short helps reduce that. Plus, caring for nails involves fine motor skills, and it teaches a bit about personal grooming.
So the routine is trimming maybe once a week with clean clippers. What's a step people often forget?
Actually teaching them to wash under the nails. Use soap, maybe a soft little brush sometimes. And for kids who bite their nails, which is often stress-related.
Yeah, that's a tough one to break.
It is. Instead of just punishing the nail biting, the sources suggest offering alternatives. Redirect that nervous energy with something like a stress ball or a fidget toy. Clean nails really boost the effectiveness of hand washing, which we already know is number 1.
All right, habit 8 takes us to wearing clean clothes. This feels like it shifts more towards personal responsibility, right?
It definitely does. It's a big milestone. Clothes gather sweat, skin cells, germs, food spills, all sorts of things throughout the day.
So the baseline is changing underwear and socks daily.
Yes, absolutely daily for those. They absorb the most moisture and bacteria. And the first step in teaching this habit is actually about laundry management.
Oh, right. Not leaving clothes on the floor.
Exactly. Teaching them to put dirty clothes straight into the hamper. It helps keep the house tidy, sure. But more importantly, it reinforces that routine of finishing the job, taking care of your things, is part of taking care of yourself.
Okay. Habit 6 is hair care and scalp cleanliness. This seems like it varies a lot based on hair type, doesn't it?
It does vary. For younger kids, washing hair maybe 2 or 3 times a week is usually enough. But, like with bathing, that often needs to increase for teens because of those hormonal changes causing more oil.
And brushing.
Daily brushing is important too, not just to detangle and look neat, but it helps distribute the natural oils from the scalp down the hair shaft, which keeps the scalp healthier.
And there was one specific thing parents need to be vigilant about here.
Ah, yes, lice. Especially after school starts or if there's an outbreak reported, be proactive. Check your child's hair regularly. Catching it early makes treatment much easier and stops it from spreading.
Good reminder. Okay, finally, the one I was honestly surprised to see on a hygiene list. Habit 9, sleep hygiene, called the hidden habit. Why is sleep part of hygiene?
Because it's absolutely essential. It underpins everything else. Think about it. A kid who's chronically tired, has a weaker immune system, they can't focus properly, they don't have the mental energy to remember routines or regulate their mood.
So good sleep helps them actually do the other hygiene habits.
Exactly. It's fundamental for their overall health, their ability to learn, everything.
So what does good sleep hygiene actually involve? What are the tips?
3 key things came up consistently. First, a regular, consistent bedtime. The body loves rhythm. Second, and this is huge, no screens for at least an hour before bed.
The blue light issue.
Yes, it messes with melatonin, the sleep hormone, makes it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. And third, a physically clean sleep environment. Wash bedding, especially sheets and pillowcases, weekly to get rid of sweat, dust mites, germs.
Wow, okay. So we've covered 9 really comprehensive habits, from hands to hair to sleep. But knowing them is one thing. Making them stick is the real challenge for parents, right? What did the experts synthesize as the best ways to make these habits permanent?
Yeah, implementation is key. It really boiled down to about 4 main strategies. First, start small. Don't try to implement all 9 at once. Pick one, maybe hand washing, get that solid for a few weeks, then add the next one like the 2-minute toothbrushing.
One step at a time. Makes sense.
Second, make it fun. Use those games, songs, sticker charts we talked about. Associate the habit with something positive, not just a boring chore.
I like that. What else?
Third, lead by example. This is huge. Kids copy everything. If they see you skipping hand washing or staying up super late scrolling on your phone.
They'll figure it's okay for them too.
Exactly. You have to model the behavior you want to see.
Yeah.
And finally, use positive rewards. Praise works wonders. Small privileges, like choosing the bedtime story for remembering to brush teeth without being asked. Reinforce the action, the effort. Consistency and positivity, those are the keys.
That's great advice. It really frames teaching hygiene not as just another task, but as a genuine investment in raising kids who are healthy, yes, but also confident, responsible, and just well-managed individuals. So for you listening, if you found this breakdown helpful and you want to get into even more detail, the source material we drew from comes from a lot of great resources.
Yeah, and for really comprehensive info on child health, specific parenting tips, and very detailed guides on all these habits, including how to handle common problems like bath resistance or picky eaters affecting oral health, we definitely recommend you visit omegapediatrics.com. They have a huge range of resources that cover everything we discussed today, really supporting that lifelong wellness journey for your child.
That's omegapediatrics.com. And as we wrap up here, if you got value from this discussion today, if these insights were useful, please take just a second right now to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and please share this with other parents, caregivers, anyone you think could benefit from learning about these essential habits.
Definitely. And before we go, here's just a little something to think about. Building on that idea of the hidden habit of sleep. If sleep hygiene is so vital, yet often overlooked, what other hidden things in our kids' daily environment of routines might be unknowingly affecting their health, their confidence, maybe even their ability to learn these other habits? Something to ponder.
A great question to mull over. Thank you so much for joining us on Have More Babies.